Hello, everybody. Do you want to elevate your culinary career and make a lasting impression on the community? I will share some tips and tricks with you can use and make your ticket to success. Let's get started. Hello, everybody, and we are live. My name is Christian. I'm the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur Host. And if you're new here, I've been in the industry for over 35 years, had the opportunity to manage restaurants, own restaurants. And the height of my career, I managed 3.6 billion in food and beverage. And today I will share my tips and tricks, what it takes to be successful as a chef. And for that, we need to look at success as more just in business. So today we cover personal life, business life, career, and community. I honestly feel you need all four of them to be successful and being really successful. So for me, that starts with personal success. For me, personal success and none of these tips and tricks is something I read about or heard about. This is what I implemented in order to be able to pivot my personal life, pivot my career, pivot my business, and make an impact in not just my community I live in, hopefully, and a culinary community at large. So the first one for me is, and that sounds kind of foo-foo, but is mindfulness and mental health. You probably know our industry is not a very healthy industry. And for me, I was part of that too, working 6, 7 days. I work more 7-day weeks than 5-day weeks as I grew up in the industry and having my own businesses and my own restaurants. So for me, I always heard about meditation, mindfulness practices, and work life balance strategies, but never really implemented it. So for me, number one is you need to do that. I started out doing it in the morning. I went to an event with Tony Robbins, and he calls it the hour of power. And for me, I really resonated with that. And when I come into the office, this is the first thing I do. I spend 20 minutes around being thankful and mindfulness, if you want to call it. I just sit there and meditate for 15, 20 minutes, and then I plan out my day. And I think it's one of the keys to success of what we had to pivot as much as we did over the last few years. And then also around mental health and mindfulness and personal success, we need to talk about continuous learning. I feel, and I know, not just feel, that a learner's mindset is the key to all of that. I always had a learner's mindset. I always wondered, why is this chef more successful than this chef or this chef? They have the same upbringing, they have the same background, they have the same ingredients, they have the same equipment, and their dishes are totally different. And not just is the dish different, the way they approached business was totally different. They had totally different outcomes. Three people, same background, same kind of training, same kind of opportunity. One blew it out of the park and the other one closed business. So having that learner's mindset is not just key, I think is what starts all of that. And for me, doing this in our industry, I started out going to courses, I went to workshops, I went to networking connections to meet some other people. But until I started implementing, and I have this little reminder thing here for me, and I show it up all the time, is progress over perfection. Because just doing something, because as you get into it, it's becomes not just easier, it gets clearer of what you want to do. And there's power in clarity. And also, not just clarity, is keeping simple. You hear me say this all the time: complexity is the enemy of execution. So keep it simple. Number one, practice some kind of mindfulness, some kind of mental health, whatever feels right for you. I also know when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So when you're looking for something, you will find which connects with you, and then have that learner's mindset. So continue learning. There's just so many great platforms out there, and just the content we put out there alone will help you become better in that. So number one. Number two is business success. And if you look at what some of the trends today, you need to implement an eco-friendly practice in some shape or form, a zero waste kitchen or sustainable sourcing. Look at the success Whole Foods has, or I'm drawing a blank. What is it called? Chipotle has. We talk about Chipotle all the time. Having that sustainable, hint or that sustainable practice they show to the clients, how they not just procure the product, is how they're producing and then how they manage waste is really, really important. And especially in our industry, successful restaurants have a sustainability effort. So really important. And in business, it's not just the restaurants. It's if you want to start what we do here today, we have batteries and we do solar and we do so many other things here. So really important to implement that. And then also look at the digital transformation. So just see what's going on around AI, digital menuing, online reservation, contactless payments. Just the other day at Whole Foods, I paid with my palm. How cool is that? And I think more and more of these things will come. And if you have a strong AI integration in your restaurant or your establishment or your business, you will see that people will embrace that because it is the future and will transform everything you do. And then also around that, we need to talk about personal branding. So if you talk about business success, your personal brand is also really important. And for us, the reason we uh, started all of this is to put our information, our knowledge, the things we have learned over the years out there in sort of marketplace. And we use social media. We create, hopefully you feel that this engaging content, and we connect with our audience. We do free workshops, we do free calls, and we do so many different things to bring people into our ecosystem. And we started this podcast solely because we want to put our information out to more people. And now we have the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur Show, and it even leveraged up. We just started Fisher Media, which is our media company, put the stuff out there into the marketplace. So as the day's chef, you need to be successful in building your own brand. So really important. The next thing is, let's talk about career development. And for me, career development is probably the single fastest way for you to gain not just notoriety, is how you make a name in the industry. And I find that networking and collaborations are the single best way to do that. There is power. I mean, there's true power in networking with other culinary communities, going to events, joining professional organizations, collaborate with other chefs, or even what we did. We started out in joining a mastermind. If you haven't done so, you should check out a mastermind. It's really an amazing way to collaborate with people. And for me, as we started our own mastermind 4 years ago. And the first year we were in business with our mastermind, the impact we have seen for our members and the impact we have seen in our own business was just off the charts. We started 18 business as a collective. The information we shared, the insights and the tools and the strategies we shared with everybody of what we were working on, we were not just working on implementing and getting feedback on, was just amazing. So for me, I'm just a really big fan of masterminding. Also specialize in specific niches. Plant-based, you can't go nowhere without hearing plant-based. I just had the opportunity to go to the Fancy Food Show in New York last Monday, and seeing how far plant-based has come, it was humbling going in there, seeing how many amazing products there are. There's a company which made a short rib type product. I'm telling you, if you ate that in a restaurant, you would be hard pressed to find out that was not real animal protein, that was plant based. And then also look what's coming on with some really cool ethnic fusions in the marketplace. And for me, I always use the example of kava. We just recently in our town got a kava. We just had lunch ordered from them yesterday. It was amazing how they layer flavors and ingredients. Absolutely spectacular. So you need to specialize and become a niche market provider for the things you want to do. And if you are listening to this podcast, you know we have our own publishing company, and we teach chefs to how to write a book in 8 weeks or less. And we can do this because, first of all, we participate every single time. That's how we wrote 30 plus books over the last few years. But it's also the way people consume books and content is a lot different. The days of 1,000 page book are over. There's very few people which are looking for that. What people are looking for is somebody who specializes on something, who has a niche, who is extremely, extremely good at that particular niche, and then how they can learn and cut their learning curve in half to do that in their business. So for me, if you look at overall career development, you need to go to networking events, you need to join an organization, and you need to really specialize and become the best you can be in the things you're really, really good at. The next one is community impact. Success has no meaning without the impact in your immediate community, and that's your business, your employees, your industry. And for me, we give back and we spend majority of our time giving back, and we doing these podcasts and show we have around this to share as much of our experience with our listeners so they don't have to make the same mistakes we made. And you always hear me saying we don't teach something we learned, read about. This is all the stuff we do and implement on a daily basis. So the impact in the community, you need to go out there, hey, teach cooking classes, participate in charity events, collaborate with local farms. I have a local liquor store here. They're doing a really amazing job that they bring in a chef and he just does seasonal appetizers. And it's, for me, it's just mind-boggling how many people come up, and this is a local business. They have 2 restaurants, and they're doing this certain days a month, and they come in and people just flood it. I never thought about pairing this with that. Hey, can you come and give me some of your recipes? I think they need to have a book, but every chef needs a book. But it's a great way to get your name out there in the community and give back. And this local restaurant does phenomenal. He said he does very little marketing because the people he gets and the publicity he gets from the local liquor store is absolutely amazing. And finally, we can't talk about community impact without mentorship. You probably heard it said, if you want to learn something, teach it, and become a mentor, offer internships, participate in culinary programs. Just give your knowledge out there to the industry for free, because people will come back and say, if this guy gives this away for free, what does he do in his business, or what does he do in his digital media, whatever platform you have? So understand that being a mentor and having a mentor is key to success. For me, as I hired my first mentor, we were not a cultural fit, and it was hard for me to implement what he shared with me. There was 2 reasons behind it. Number one, he has not done exactly what I wanted to do, so it was always hard for me to get advice from him because I knew he never did what I want to do. And then as I found my business mentor today, he's so is beyond what I want to do. And I know when he gives me advice, it's exactly what I want to do here with you. It's not something he learned or read about. I know he implemented and became highly hyper successful in what he does. So really, really important. So some quick wins. How can you implement a few things we talked about? Some mindful practices. You can download a meditation app, and there's multiple ones on there. I just, full transparency, I just downloaded 2 days ago a new one, and just start with a 5-minute daily lessons. Will be the best 5 minutes you invest in your day, and I recommend to do this in the morning. Next thing is you could implement some sustainability practice. Start auditing your own kitchen or somebody else's kitchen and find areas or ways to reduce waste. Makes all the impact. Make that digital transformation. Set up a QR code for menus, just the little things which have a huge impact, not just for you as a business, but also in your industry. And today it's very common for people to look at a QR code for a menu than actually getting the menu themselves, and also set up contactless ordering wherever you can. Around brand building, how cool would it be? And we actually just filmed this today, a little bit behind the scenes video on how you do social media. And today's post from us was about my setup here, what I use. I'm a big fan of Rode microphones. I use a Rodecaster Pro to drive the audio to what you're hearing today. We're using here an ATEM Mini Extreme for us to combine audio and video. And we all run this off a Mac Mini. And that was our simple thing today. It was a 45-second thing, what we do. Also, the final thing is around networking. I encourage you, schedule a virtual coffee chat with somebody you admire. And you would be amazed on how many people will take you up on it and say, I'm a big fan of yours. I love what you do. I love the impact you have in the industry. I don't want to be infringing in your time, but would you be open for a 10-minute coffee chat? And we can do this virtually. You will see how many people say yes to that. Absolutely amazing. Also, how do we look long term. So those are 5 things you can do short term. Long term is become committed to online learning or learning overall. Become a student. And for me, I still do this today. Every day I spend about an hour or so learning something new. I don't want to become an expert on it, but I want to have a clear enough understanding when I give somebody direction or if I interview somebody for something. So really, really important. Start develop that personal brand. You can start this by developing a calendar for consistent social media posting. As we started doing this, my team, Mackenzie, does this for us. It's amazing. She's so detailed about it, made all the difference. Start to specialize, create a new tasting menu or test a new menu with some really cool, unique new items, or find your own culinary niche you want to serve the community in. Then around mentorship, establish a mentorship program and work with other inspiring and aspiring chefs in your community and invite him to stash in your restaurant. How cool will that be? And then finally, around community engagement, plan and execute a community event or participate in a charity partnership. That's what you can implement today to have that long-term strategy success. So as we started this, I encourage you to listen over again, implement these simple strategies, because remember, success is not just about following trends. It is about setting them and leading the way for others. And that's how I learned. And hopefully you found today's conversation helpful. With that, I'm going to say thanks for being here today. If you haven't done so, join our private community, which is the disruptivechef.club. Just go on the web, type in disruptivechef.club. It's our private community, which gives you a front row seat of all the great things we do. When we roll out a new program, that group gets it for free. If we write a new book or we have a book writing course coming up, that group can participate for free. So really, really important. So thanks for being here today. Thanks for listening in. Until next time, remember to disrupt your kitchen, fire up your career, stay hungry for change. I'm Christian, the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur host. I'm signing off for today. Be the change, be the challenge, be the chef who sets the world on fire. Until next time, go out there and stay disruptive, everybody.